All right. Hi, Angela. Congratulations on your award. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you became involved in CTE?
Hi, yes, I'd love to. So I'm a career educator and majored in accounting back in the day, and then realized how much I wanted to be a teacher and became a business educator and spent 23 years in the classroom in marketing and business and kind of fell into work-based learning. And that's where I really started to build that interest in that career advising piece. And so did a central office job and supported 25 middle schools and 16 high schools and did a lot of professional development working with the CTA teachers. And from there, moved into my current role of 4 years of career advising and also youth apprenticeship coordinator. So just fell in love with it early, and it's been a 33 plus year career for me.
Excellent. Thank you. I also started out in accounting, by the way, and was a business ed teacher.
Oh, yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about what you do and what some of your proudest accomplishments have been as a career guidance professional?
Yes. So when I started 4 years ago, I came out of a central office role, as I mentioned, and was really eager to get back face to face with the students. And we were opening a college and career academy. And this was a new role, a career advising role. So honestly, all my years from educator in the classroom to central office role just played a part in becoming this career advisor, along with building the youth apprenticeship program. And so I knew that our school had a long history of being very inclusive. We're an IB school and open to all students, no application required. And so one of my goals coming in was to make sure that in work-based learning, youth apprenticeship, and career education was going to be as inclusive as possible. And so some of my proudest things that have happened were related around that goal of understanding that students without transportation are not students without talent, and that transportation was holding up the experiential opportunities that all students should have. So I worked really closely with our business community, and last year was able to build a relationship with a local car dealership, and fortunately received a $60,000 budget to work on transportation and add transportation as a piece to programming for career education, whether it be industry tours, field trips, job shadow, and also work-based learning and youth apprenticeship. And along with that, trying to build that talent without transportation piece, this year added interactive teller positions to actually my office. I have two students that work in my office, completely outfitted to do interactive teller positions with through ATM machines through one of our partners who's a credit union, and they've done all their training there for the most part, and then work in the afternoon. And so just building that inclusive programming and working on increasing opportunities by providing opportunities out without, whether in or outside the school, but where transportation does not prohibit students from participating.
Excellent. Thank you. So, what do you see as one of the biggest challenges students face today, particularly in light of the current pandemic, when preparing for their futures? And what can schools and counselors do to better prepare their students for post-secondary education and careers?
So I work really closely, since we are a college and career academy. We're fortunate I work to have college advisors, as well as myself as a career advisor, also another work-based learning coordinator. And then of course we have our suite of counselors as well. I still, it's been an age-old issue, but making sure that students are educated properly on opportunities that are available. I find that this generation Z is much different than earlier generations, and they are looking for new ways to learn, which is great. And they're willing to, put the effort out there if they see a direct result related to how it'll benefit them. But I see too many people in the field still talking about college being the way that all students need to go to receive an education for the job market. So I avoid and try to change the narrative when people say, "Oh, well, not all kids are going to go to college," but all kids are going to go into a career. And so changing how the education that students have and how we see as adults education that students need after high school, and making sure that they know that 70% or more of the jobs do not require a 4-year degree, but they require something less, but do require education. So just making sure that students know their opportunities, and what they can't see, we know they can't be necessarily. So making sure they have exposure as much as possible to the vast array of opportunities that are out there in a variety of careers.
Fantastic. You're clearly passionate about CTE. Where does that passion come from? And why is CTE so important?
It just comes from a lifetime of working with students and seeing like the benefit of hands-on learning, problem solving, project-based learning, experiential opportunities, being able to touch and feel and try versus just just practice. So just seeing the benefits early on is where my passion has come from. And I've always been a supporter of the underdog. And sometimes students who have amazing talent historically may have been overlooked because it wasn't in a core academic area, for example. And so helping them find the right path and has been just a big part of who I am and a big part of my heart.
So Angela, what part of being an ACTE member do you value most? And what would you say to someone considering becoming a member?
Well, the people, I have to say, it's been years. I've been in education for 33, as I said earlier, I believe. And the networking and the collaboration has definitely been such a valuable part. And my growth comes from all those folks that I meet at conferences and then follow up with. And I learned a long time ago, I would come out of meetings and conferences with so much information that I figured out a way to make it work so I could make sure I applied a lot of it and took those best practices back. And that was by focusing in on like 3 things I learned each time and making sure I implemented those. So definitely the best practices, the people, and then, following all the things that are done for with legislation and keeping CTE at the forefront of our politicians so they know how important our education is that we provide to students and what we do, and making sure that we have adequate funding to get the job done. For anyone that's getting into CTAE, any counselors, guidance folks, career advisors, administrators, I would urge them to become members of ACTE because of just the things I mentioned and how important it is to be a part of your professional organization. And it's definitely been a lot of what's happened through ACTE has supported the work that I have done and just kind of lifted me up and elevated me as a professional so that I could have the resources that I need to be as successful as I can with my students.